Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unlocking a secret to greatness. And spoiler alert, you won't find it in a crowded room, and you definitely won't find it amidst the roaring applause of an audience. No, it's actually found in complete and total isolation. Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to picture a 17-year-old Kobe Bryant. While all his peers were out hitting up weekend parties, laughing, socializing, just doing normal teenager stuff, Kobe was doing something completely different. On Fridays and Saturdays, he'd head into an empty, pitch-black rec room with just his basketball, and he would literally dribble himself to sleep. It was right there, in those quiet, totally unseen hours away from the crowds, that he discovered the real hunger, that absolute motivation to be the very best.
So that brings us to Section 1, the power of solitude, and how we need to start reframing isolation.
You know, we naturally tend to look at loneliness as a curse, right? It's this thing we actively try to dodge, usually by filling every single empty second with background noise or endless, mindless scrolling. But to really grasp what we're talking about today, we've got to completely flip that perspective. See, we often mistake solitude for this big, scary monster called loneliness. It makes us feel like we aren't enough or like we're somehow messing up just by being by ourselves. But here's the truth. Solitude is actually a gift. It's literally a superpower. When you look around and you feel like an outsider watching everyone else just kind of coast through their automatic, comfortable little lives, that heavy feeling, that isn't loneliness at all. It is simply your ambition speaking way louder than your need to belong.
And those quiet, dark hours, they are absolutely vital for exactly this reason. When you finally cut out all that outside consumption, no news, no social media, no notifications constantly buzzing in your pocket, your mind actually clears up. It gets optimized. You start experiencing this rapid-fire stream of strategic ideas, mostly because you are finally free from peer pressure and that exhausting, constant pressure to just fit in. I mean, think about it. How much energy do we waste every single day just trying to curate our lives for an audience? When you strip all of that away, it's the one true opportunity you have to actually listen to yourself and figure out exactly what your purpose is.
Let's move right into Section 2, You Are the Problem. Yeah, we're getting into the harsh truth of extreme accountability.
Listen, if you are frustrated with exactly where you are right now, we need to get super real about why you might be stuck. It usually boils down to a pretty stark choice, and this brilliantly illustrates it. External blame versus extreme ownership. Blaming external factors, saying stuff like, my boss doesn't like me, or people always reject me, or man, the economy is just terrible, that completely immobilizes you. It absolutely guarantees you will never make any meaningful changes, because you've convinced yourself it's all completely out of your hands. But what if you flipped the script and adopted extreme ownership? If you're constantly facing rejection or hitting a wall, it might actually just be due to your own insufficiencies. Maybe it's cowardice or a lack of social skills or self-sabotage, or, let's be honest, simply giving 50% effort. Accepting those deep, difficult faults? It's incredibly hard, but it is literally the only way to spark genuine change. At the end of the day, you are the reason your career isn't at the next level. Nobody else.
You owe yourself an explanation. Seriously, have you ever looked in the mirror and admitted that you let you down? Why are you only giving 50%? It is time to put yourself on punishment. You've got to look at your excuses and just brutally cut out the self-sabotaging distractions. You have to tell yourself, no more mindless TV, no more sinking into the couch with junk snacks. I know it's comfortable, and believe me, binge-watching a show while eating a whole bag of chips is a really easy trap to fall into. But you absolutely cannot be fully committed to sabotaging your own life with these habits and then sit back, totally stressed out, wondering why things aren't magically happening for you. It doesn't work like that.
Which leads us to a pretty critical question here. What are you actually feeding your consciousness? Think about it. What kinds of thoughts are you letting into your mind right now that enable you to justify staying comfortably stuck exactly where you are? Stop indulging in the comfort that comes with avoiding hard effort. Because I promise you, that comfort is nothing but a massive lie.
So I'm going to ask you this directly. Are you willing to forsake all distractions? Do you actually have the courage to go hide yourself in the library, in the gym, or in the boardroom? Can you just disappear for a while and do the grueling, totally unseen work required behind the scenes to actually manifest your moment?
Moving on to Section 3, Make Your Success Personal, the internal shift.
This right here is the vital pivot. We've got to stop chasing external validation and start building this intense, unshakable internal drive. There are visceral, physical requirements to actually achieving a dream. You have to eat the dream, you have to sleep the dream, and honestly, most importantly, you have to believe in it when it isn't even tangible yet. This means concrete commitment. Can you stay true to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has completely faded? Because true belief happens when absolutely nobody else can see the result. It's when you feel it deep in your bones before it even exists in reality.
And there is a staggering statistic about this. 99%. 99% of a true champion's life in training is spent completely, utterly alone. Nobody is patting you on the back during those 4 a.m. drills. There are absolutely no awards handed out for staying up late to perfect your craft. Zero applause. You have to understand that nobody is going to believe in you and nobody is going to celebrate with you until you've already put in the massive, lonely work necessary to finally break through. But here's the secret. When you make it personal, everything changes. Think about this for a second. The sound of laughter and the sound of doubt motivates me. I saw you celebrate my losses. You can literally use the doubt, the laughter of all your critics as raw, unfiltered fuel. Creating an enemy or just tapping into that raw anger is actually an incredibly powerful tool when you channel it the right way. You've got to manufacture that heightened emotion to sharpen your awareness and lock in extreme focus. It has to become deeply personal to you. Let their doubt be the exact reason you push right through the fatigue.
And that brings us to our final segment, Section 4. Embrace the lonely chapter, the climb to greatness. Listen closely to me here. This period of isolation you might be going through right now, it is not permanent. It's a necessary rite of passage. The lonely chapter is basically a season where you go to war with yourself and you tell absolutely no one about it until you've already won. You are going to war with your own self-doubt, your fears, your anxieties, and that really comfortable self-sabotage that hides in the dark. And pulling that off requires an unwavering faith in possibility, a solid belief that no matter what the statistics say, no matter how ridiculously steep the climb looks, you can and will achieve the outcome you want if you just put in the unrelenting work.
So who are you doing this for?
Sure, you might have a mother who did everything possible to put food on the table, or a father counting on you, or younger siblings watching your every single move. And yes, you absolutely have to do it for them. But deep down, at the very core, you are doing this for yourself. Look, every human being wants to see the absolute greatest version of themselves, but most people just quit the second the work gets a little too heavy. You've got to realize right now that the cavalry is not coming to save you. Nobody is going to swoop in and carry you across that finish line. It is entirely up to you to get off the couch, enter the cave, and fight for that greatest version of yourself. Consider this really profound thought for a second. A beast is someone who can go through hell and be grateful that their legs are still working. True strength is forged precisely when you are exhausted. It is forged when your mind is literally screaming at you to just quit, when you are dead broke, and when you are terrified. But you absolutely refuse to give up. You wipe the blood out of your eyes, you stand back up, and you realize you have the capacity to handle absolutely whatever life throws your way. Which leaves us with one final, totally unavoidable question. Are you a sheep, or are you a wolf?